So we're going to talk about two things over here. One is basically how do you make 2 cups of coffees by using a concentrate from an Aeropress, and second, how to make a milk coffee from an Aeropress. Initially, I also was using this equipment just to make 1 cup of coffee and kind of using it more from a point of view that it'll brew 1 cup of coffee. But the beauty of this thing is that it makes a great concentrate. No other equipment will actually give you a great concentrate. I mean, mocha pot is one of the options, but then that is another equipment altogether where you don't have any variables whatsoever that you can control. So concentrate is basically a concentrated liquid form, which if you bypass it, if you dilute it, you can actually make a couple of cups of coffees or also a milk based beverage. Alright, so making 2 cups of coffees from an Aeropress is kind of tricky at times. Before we get onto the 3 variables, just 3 variables that you need to change to make a concentrate out of Aeropress and brew like say 2 cups or maybe 3 cups also. You need to understand one thing, your 1 gram of coffee will absorb 2 ml of water. You need to have that mathematics ready. So when you put like, let's say when you put 30 grams of coffee and you put 100 ml of water, 30 grams of coffee will absorb 60 ml of water. So in effect, you're just going to get 40 ml of coffee out, 40 to 45 ml of coffee out. So you need to have that mathematics set and then have a reverse calculation as to how many cups of coffees do you want. Let's say I've got an order of 3 Aeropresses and I've got a recipe set for that. 1 cup of coffee on an average will be around 220 ml. And if I want each cup of coffee having 30 ml of my concentrated coffee, in which I'll then later on add hot water, which is basically I'll be bypassing. So in effect, let's do the mathematics again. 30, 60, 90, that is 90 ml of water, 90 ml of concentrate I definitely need. Remember the formula that 1 gram of coffee will absorb 2 ml of water, and then do the maths accordingly. Now let's get on to the variables of making a concentrated coffee. The 3 variables. 1 is the agitation. 2nd is the grind size. 3rd is the ratio. Let's talk about agitation. If let's say you're making 1 Aeropress and if you've got an agitation of just 6 times, agitation is basically you're swirling and mixing the coffee and water so that there are no air bubbles or air pockets and there is equal and even extraction happening in the coffee. That is basically agitation. If you have got agitation of 6 times in 1 cup recipe, what you got to do is not exactly you got to double it up to make 2 cups and triple it up if you want to make 3 cups, but you need to find a sweet spot. Usually what I've seen is if you agitate 6 times after the first pour in the Aeropress, you got to agitate around 8 to 10 times if you want to make 2 cups of coffees. Keeping in mind that the grind size is also changed. When you're making a concentrate, it gets us to the 2nd variable of coffee, that is the... So in 1 cup, if you're making a grind size, if you're grinding the coffee at say EK43 having a grind size of 15, which is like pretty coarse, if you want to make 2 cups, your grind size will move from 15 to say around 12. There is no written formula as such. There is no thumb rule as such in this. It all comes with a lot of brewing of the coffees and also depends on what kind of coffee do you want with the concentrate. But what I usually do is if I'm grinding on 15 on EK43, I'll go to 12 around if I want to make a concentrate, or if I get 2 cups order and I want to make it in 1 chamber itself, I'll go to 12 or I'll even go to 10 on the grind size, which is like coarse and finer and finer. Now the 3rd variable is the ratio of coffee and water. For 1 cup of Aeropress, I'm using 15 grams of coffee. A simple method is, it's not a formula again or a thumb rule, a simple method is you can almost double up the coffee. Which is like around 25 grams or 30 grams, within a bracket of 25 to 30 grams. Take that much amount of coffee with a finer grind size as we had mentioned on the 2nd point. It's very difficult to get 2 cups of coffees from the same amount of coffee that you're using for 1 cup. So you have to kind of increase this variable that is pretty much certain. So use around a ratio of, if you're using for 1 cup 15 grams, use around 25 grams of coffee for the 2 cups method. So you've done all these things now. You've taken more coffee, you've ground it much finer, you've let it brew for a longer period of time, you've done your mathematics keeping in mind, say you want 2 cups of coffees which are like 220 ml each, or 3 cups of coffee which are 220 ml each. You've done your mathematics and then you've found out the concentrate that you want to have in your cup. You split it equally in your 2 cups. Now what do? The whole point of making a concentrate was that you're gonna add hot water later on, which is called nothing but a bypass. Bypassing of water in coffee means you're not letting the water touch the coffee, but you're just filling your cup so that the concentrate gets kind of diluted and it gives you kind of an Aeropress, entire cup of Aeropress actually, as against a pretty bitter kind of a taste in coffee. So once you bypass the coffee, you'll start getting all these flavor notes coming back. Now, let's learn about how to make milk coffee out of an Aeropress. One small tip that I'll give you is, instead of using a paper filter, I would rather say have a mesh filter whenever you want to make a milk coffee out of it, because the mesh filter will not absorb all the small particles, and additionally it'll give you some little oils in your cup, which is going to be great for your espresso shot. So we've understood how the ratios work in the coffee. 1 gram of coffee will absorb 2 ml of water. Usually what I do is, now this is not a recipe, it is not a thumb rule as well. If I want a milk based coffee out of an Aeropress, keeping in mind the formula or keeping in mind the mathematics of it, that 1 gram of coffee will absorb 2 ml of water. For a concentrate, to make a milk beverage out of it, for 1 cup, what we need is around 40 ml of a concentrate, which means that I'll have to do the maths. 20 डाला, 40 पहले, 40 गायब हो गया और 40 ने 80 डाला, ठीक. Which means you'll need 20 grams of coffee and all in all 80 ml of water at least, because once you put 20 grams of coffee and add 50 ml of water in the first go, you agitate it, alright, let all the grounds be wet properly, evenly, without any air pockets in that, and then after that just add around 30 ml of water in that. And this temperature and all we are not talking about, because that's pretty obvious that it's going to be hot water. Add 30 ml of water in that and then agitate it again. Let it sit for like around 30 to 45 seconds, cap it and then press it. So in all you've added 20 grams of coffee, 80 ml of water, and when you're pressing it down you've got a 40 ml of liquid in which you can make a milk beverage. And that's the end of the video. Okay, thank you so much for watching our videos. Our last video was a super hit one. We loved all the comments and all the shares that you've done. It'll be great if you like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel, and let us know what all videos do you want to watch around. Thank you so much.